3 weeks into the gym, 2 months into the side business, day 40 of the habit you swore would stick. You stopped right there, told yourself it wasn't working, and walked away from something that was about to turn a corner you never got to see. This isn't about discipline, and it isn't a coincidence. Your stopping point keeps landing in the exact same place, and it has nothing to do with how hard you tried. 1. The outcome you're measuring against. The small thing you did today, one workout, one page, one hard email, felt like nothing. Not because it was, because of what you measured it against. Your brain doesn't register progress that small. It tracks the gap between who you are and who you're chasing, and that gap closes far slower than feels fair, somewhere you can't see yet. The smallness was never the problem. You were measuring a quiet action against an outcome it isn't built to match yet. What feels like nothing is usually just something too early to see. 2. The part that never shows. You gave up on something while it was still compounding underneath you. No proof, no visible curve, just flat nothing, day after day. Compounding doesn't announce itself. It builds where you can't watch it, invisible until the moment it isn't. You keep checking the mirror for proof that was never going to show up there. Whatever made you stop wasn't the work failing. You were standing in the part of the process that doesn't show yet, and you left one step early. Most things that look like failure are progress wearing a disguise it hasn't taken off yet. 3. The timeline you made up. You didn't quit because it stopped working. You quit because it missed the timeline you'd quietly set in your head, one nobody promised, one you made up. You expect progress to move in a straight line. Real progress stays flat, then jumps. And that flat stretch is exactly where most people walk away, especially when the finish line was never built to arrive slowly. There was nothing wrong with your effort, only with the timeline you held it against, one that was never real to begin with. The curve was never broken. You just stepped off one turn before it bent your way. 4. The goal that turned against you. You picked a huge goal because it felt motivating the day you set it. Almost immediately, it turned on you. Every day you haven't reached it counts as a day you failed. A big goal sounds inspiring, but it turns every day before you arrive into a verdict against you. You don't notice the slow build underneath, only the gap. And somewhere in all that bracing, you stop recognizing what arriving was supposed to feel like. The goal was never the problem. It was the size of it, turning every ordinary day into a verdict you never agreed to. A goal that makes today feel like failure was never built to be lived inside. 5. The moment you were waiting for. You expected change to feel like a moment, a switch flipping, a clear before and after. So when real change finally showed up looking ordinary and repetitive, you didn't recognize it. Nobody told you transformation would look like the days before it, just stacked higher, repeated longer, quieter than you imagined. You were watching for a moment. What you got was a habit so consistent it stopped feeling remarkable. You weren't wrong to expect something dramatic. You just didn't know the undramatic version was the one that actually works, the one you were already living inside. The moment you were waiting for already happened. It just didn't announce itself. 6. The rewrite you never noticed. There was never one morning you woke up changed. No single decision you can point to. Just a few hundred small, unremarkable choices, repeated long enough that the person making them quietly became someone else. You keep looking for the moment because that's how change gets told in stories. Identity doesn't get rewritten in moments. It gets rewritten in repetitions so small you'd never think to mark one down. Which means you don't need a moment. Every small, unremarkable thing you keep doing is already the rewrite, happening right now, whether it feels like anything or not. You won't remember the day you changed. You'll just notice, one day, that you already have. Every time you quit early, it never meant you were weak. It meant you were looking for proof in the wrong place. The work was never invisible because it wasn't real. It was invisible because that's what real change looks like while it's still happening. Notice the next time something starts to feel flat and pointless, and your first instinct is to stop. That feeling has never once told you the truth about whether it was working. You were never the person who can't follow through. You were just the person who kept leaving 5 minutes before the lights came on. If you're interested in understanding yourself a little more deeply, subscribe. Because this channel isn't about giving you more noise. It's about helping you hear the thoughts you've been trying to ignore.